Artificial intelligence, machine learning. You've heard these terms thrown around everywhere, right? And a lot of the time, people use them like they're the exact same thing, but they're not. And figuring out the difference isn't just for tech trivia night. It's actually the key to understanding the technology that's shaping, well, pretty much everything. So let's break it all down.
Okay, think about this for a second. You're buying something online, and bam, in less than a second, your bank gives it the green light. Or maybe it flags the purchase just to be safe. How on earth does it know the difference so fast? The answer lies right in the middle of these incredible technologies we're about to unpack. It's the perfect example of this stuff at work in the real world.
To really get this, we've got to zoom way, way out and start with the big picture. And in this universe, the biggest picture of them all, the grand, ambitious dream, is artificial intelligence itself.
Now, here's the best way I've heard it described. The easiest way to picture artificial intelligence is to think of it like a giant umbrella. It's not one single thing. It's the huge overarching concept that covers a whole range of smart technologies.
So, at its core, AI is really the science of making things smart. The whole goal is to build systems that can do things we humans do with our brains, like reason, learn from experience, and solve tricky problems. It's all about simulating our own intelligence. And you use it constantly, probably without even thinking twice about it. When you ask a smart speaker what your commute looks like, yep, that's AI. The bank fraud detection we just talked about, that's AI too. And it even handles incredibly complex stuff, like a hospital figuring out the most efficient way to schedule its resources. Okay, so if AI is the big dream, the umbrella, how do we actually make it happen? Well, that brings us to the engine that powers so much of modern AI. And that engine is called machine learning.
So let's go back to that umbrella idea. Machine learning is one of the most important things sitting right underneath it. You could say it's a specific and incredibly powerful method for making that big AI dream a practical reality.
So here's the crucial part, the real takeaway. Machine learning is all about learning from data. Instead of a programmer having to write step-by-step instructions for every single possibility, we can just feed a system a mountain of data and let it figure out the patterns on its own. It literally learns and gets better from experience.
The process is actually kind of fascinating. First, you feed an algorithm a ton of what's called training data. Let's say thousands and thousands of pictures of cats. The algorithm then just churns through all that data looking for common patterns, whiskers, pointy ears, fur. From those patterns, it builds something called a model, which is basically its own internal rulebook for what makes a cat a cat. And the best part? The more cat pictures it sees, the better its model gets at identifying cats in brand new photos.
And while all this feels incredibly new, the idea itself has been around for a surprisingly long time. The term machine learning was actually coined way back in 1959. By the 80s, banks were already using it for things like credit scoring, but the real explosion, the thing that sparked everything we're seeing now, happened in 2017 with a breakthrough called the transformer architecture. This new approach became the foundation for the powerful generative AI we're all talking about today.
All right, so let's put these two side by side. Seeing them in a direct comparison is where the distinction really becomes crystal clear.
So think of it like this. AI is the whole brain. Its goal is broad, to create a system that can mimic human intelligence to solve all kinds of complex problems. Machine learning, on the other hand, is a specific way of learning. Its goal is much narrower, to train a machine on data so it gets really, really good at one specific task, like identifying fraud or predicting what customers might buy. This is a fantastic look at a simple machine learning model in action. It's called a decision tree. See, the model has already learned from tons of past customer data to build this map. It asks a series of simple questions, like is their income above a certain amount, or have they bought from us before? And just by following the yes or no branches, it can make a surprisingly accurate prediction about a totally new customer. And what's really incredible is how much this has all changed. Not that long ago, building that decision tree meant writing pages of complex code, like what you see on the left. You had to be a specialist. But today, you've got these amazing tools with simple visual workflows like the one on the right that let almost anyone build powerful models. It's this democratization that's putting the power of machine learning into so many more hands. So look, this isn't just a technical curiosity for nerds. This technology is out there right now, actively reshaping our world and pretty much every industry you can think of.
Just think about it. In healthcare, it's speeding up drug discovery. In manufacturing, it's predicting when a machine will need repairs before it breaks down. We've seen it in finance, and you see it every single time a retail website suggests a product you might actually like. It's the silent partner everywhere, making things faster, smarter, and more efficient.
And the economic impact? It is just staggering. The global market for machine learning is projected to grow to over $200 billion by 2029. And get this, it was only around $15 billion in 2021. This isn't just a trend, it's a fundamental economic shift.
But for all of its power, the success of any machine learning project really boils down to one simple thing. As Sam Mahalingam says here, it all starts with a crystal clear question. What are you trying to predict? Are you predicting fraud, machine failure, customer behavior? The clarity of that goal is absolutely everything.
And all of this has led us to the next great frontier. The very same principles of machine learning, of learning from massive data sets, are what now power generative AI. We're talking about the models like ChatGPT that don't just predict an outcome, but can create entirely new text, images, and code from scratch.
So if we bring it all back to that core idea, AI is the brain and machine learning is the process it uses to learn from all the world's information. It's already learned how to identify things, how to predict things, and now, how to create things. The only question left is, what on earth are we going to teach it to do next?